a day. Hey everyone, it's the Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on the 9th of March, 2021, the warmest day of the year so far. You know, in the past few years, it's been pretty common that in the dead of winter, we've had random 60 to 70 degree temperatures. Not this year, though. We did not have extreme warmth at any point during January and February. In fact, of course, February was really cold. So it's been a long time since we've had a day like today. In fact, it's been 110 days, going back to November 19th, 2020, a week before Thanksgiving, was the last time we had a high of 62 or warmer, and that's the mark we hit at the airport today. We got to 62 officially in Vienna at the airbase, 64 in Pittsburgh, 65 in New Philly, and 66 in Akron today. That veil of high clouds makes for a milky sky, but it also makes for kind of a beautiful sunrise and sunset. This time-lapse video starts at sunrise this morning, and yeah, good-looking day today. Now, not that pristine blue sky that we like to see a lot of times, but it was still, you know, we're getting into March, the sun's getting stronger, higher in the sky, and it'll take a lot more than a thin veil of cirrus clouds to ruin our day, especially when temperatures get into the lower 60s like they did this afternoon. All right, across the country, all the action is still out west. East of the Rockies, things are pretty quiet, but the West Coast is getting slammed with a pretty strong storm. This eventually is going to produce a severe weather threat in the middle of the country and a big snow threat for the front range of the Rockies late this week into the weekend. A titanic snowstorm could unfold, especially in Colorado, around the Denver area. They could be measuring the snow in feet this weekend. We'll talk about that more in future editions of this video. In the meantime, warmth is building out across the middle of the country. The current temperature here locally is the same as it is in International Falls, Minnesota, the nation's icebox, right along the Minnesota and Canada border, U.S.-Canadian border. It's as warm there as it is here, and it's in the 70s in Omaha and Topeka. Real warm stuff across the middle of the country. Now, tomorrow is going to look a lot like today. It's going to be a little bit warmer than today, but the bigger story tomorrow, other than the warmth, is the wind. Nothing we can't handle, but the gusts will be noticeable tomorrow afternoon. 30 to 35 will be a possibility, not wind advisory criteria or anything like that, and the wind will be gustier off to our west. But it'll be something you'll notice stepping outside tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And although tomorrow will probably start fairly sunny, I do think that this veil of high cirrus clouds will try to return for much of the midday and afternoon, again, making for just kind of that milky sky. It's not going to be dead overcast, it's not going to be gloomy outside or anything, but much like the last couple of afternoons, the sky will be a little on the milky side. And then the chances for rain start to increase. Now, there could be a shower or a sprinkle late tomorrow night, but passing shower or two will be a possibility for Thursday. No sort of a washout Thursday. By far and away, the highest chances for wet weather will be after sunset Thursday evening. Heading into the overnight hours, even a small chance for thunder with this, but most of this will just be fairly innocuous showers. And the timing of this is pretty good. These will be long gone by Friday morning. And the air behind this first front is not that cold. It'll be cooler, but still way above average. We'll be well up into the 50s on Friday with a good deal of sun. Could be a nice day on Friday. The real cold air, the legit cold air, is behind this second front that will pass through with no precipitation Friday evening, but it will usher in more seasonable weather for the weekend. Here's a look at the model spread. Rainfall total is expected to be between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. Nothing we can't handle. A nice little free car wash. We haven't had very much precipitation at all of late. That's going to change, though, especially Thursday night. All right, the air by the weekend, yeah, it's going to be chilly. Now, a couple weeks ago, we would have killed for a high of 42. Now it sounds pretty chilly, right? Well, considering where we are and where we will be this week, 42 is going to feel pretty chilly on Saturday. Now, that being said, there's not going to be much in the way of a breeze, and it's going to be fairly sunny. And as you know, the sun's getting stronger here in March. That still makes a difference. So even though the air temperature will be quite a bit cooler, it won't be bad outside Saturday afternoon. Just, yeah, it's going to be noticeably chillier than where we've been. We'll bob up into the mid-40s on Sunday and stay pretty close to those averages into early next week. All right, we already passed several of these signs of spring, and a big one is coming up this weekend, of course, with the return of daylight saving time Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Remember, there's no S. It's not daylight savings. That's a meteorologist's pet peeve. It's daylight saving. And it, of course, kicks in at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, when it will be 3 a.m. very quickly, of course. So we roll forward an hour, which means both the sunrises and sunsets roll forward an hour. Our sunrise Saturday morning, 6:37. Sunday morning at 7:35. Now, a lot of people aren't big fans of that leap forward in our sunrises, but you got to remember, of course, we're gaining daylight so fast here in meteorological spring that it won't be long before the sun rises or before 7 a.m. once again. This is a pretty temporary little setback as far as the morning sunlight goes. But a lot of people, of course, are big fans of the evening daylight and the sunset Sunday evening at 7:28. It won't be long before we have 8 p.m. sunsets as we go into the month of April. Real quick word on the longer range. Today's CPC outlook for the 8 to 14 day period, this is a little optimistic. This is a little bit too much orange in the east, I think, for my liking. I do think that it's not a cold pattern as we go into the longer range, and I've talked about this on this video a couple of times lately. March, kind of compared to the average, will probably peak this week. We probably won't see temperatures 25 above average again for the rest of the month after we get through this week's warm spell. The longer range does not look cold, but it does look cooler. Will the 8 to 14 day period come out in the wash as above average? I wouldn't put money on that at this point. I see a lot of 40s and lower 50s in our future as we go through the middle stages of March. That'll do it for me on this Tuesday evening. Thank you for checking out tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here on Wednesday.